Welcome to another edition of the Michelle Clark-Hurd Show on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Joined now by Cincinnati women's basketball head coach Michelle Clark-Hurd. Coach, thanks again for taking some time to join us. Unfortunately, it's been a news story we've seen again and again this year. You've had to have some games postponed and shuffled around the schedule, the latest being your game at USF on Saturday. But as we've said time and again, it's just a reality of this season, and everybody's adjusting as best they can.
It is, and that's what we have to do. And it's just like, we always talk, and when we talk on here, you just have to understand and be ready for whatever that looks like. So, at the end of the day, we came out and, we had a great practice today. You have to move on, and you have to move on to the next, and just be prepared to get ready for what that looks like. And so just excited for our group to continue to keep working through the things that we need to.
We'll take a look back to talk about moving on some games you've had over the last couple weeks. We've talked all season about this team, the challenges you faced, the unexpected challenges with the lineups shuffling around due to injuries and everything going along with that. Players playing new positions, having different roles, number of minutes. It's been an ongoing process for you this year. But through every game, there's been a chance to see growth from every member of this team.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our growth. And again, I think we talk about this, it doesn't always show and it hasn't for us in the win columns a lot. But we do. We have a lot of players that are playing in different positions, being in situations that they haven't had to be in before, just learning and growing. But I think that's something as a coaching staff, we're just trying to make sure that we can continue to keep them understanding that we just have to clean up some things. We talked about not making the same mistakes over, and we're getting ready to go through the cycle where we play the teams again for a second time around. So making sure that we can clean up the things we need to. So we've been in every game. So to have the opportunity to be able to make sure when it gets to those last 5 minutes, we're doing the things we can be in the game, and we're doing the things we need to have a chance to win.
We've mentioned that a lot this year, that, you look at up and down the schedule, the wins and the losses, coming down to the end, almost all of them could have gone either way. Your team having a chance to play in those tight, those close games, those are important minutes. And you're not just, kind of having filler minutes at end of games, whether you're up big or you're down big. These players have had to grind things out and really have had to work all 40 minutes every game.
Well, they're growing up in the midst of the games, and all the things that we hit earlier, in the preseason when you have the non-conference games or the exhibition games, they didn't have a chance to have those games. So now, the young teams, and when I say young for us, I mean players that haven't been in the position and been on the floor before, because, our senior group last year played a lot of minutes, and along with Imari on the floor. So now we are having a lot of players step into roles that they haven't stepped in before. So they're growing, and they're growing every game. And so I'm just really proud of our growth. And again, just for us as a staff, just our patience. We got to continue to keep being patient, and but cleaning up the things that we can control. And it's really important for us. Trying to get more points in transition, trying to do those things so it can really help us where, when they're double and triple teaming Imari in the half court, we don't have to look stagnant on offense. So we've really been working on that a lot.
Let's take a look back at your game last week against Wichita State. It was a 60-52 final at Fifth Third Arena. This was a game that your team really, really fought back in that second half, particularly in the fourth quarter. The defense was something that brought you back into it. And, we remarked on the broadcast that, this has kind of been the hallmark of this team, the last 2 years, that just grind it down kind of defensive effort. And seeing that, I know you didn't get the result you wanted, but it really felt like this was a team playing the way it has the last few years.
Well, and I think that's really, really important to look at too, just trying to put everything together and what does that look like, and, making sure we can get stops at the right time. And but the biggest thing for us is when you get the stops, we have to make sure we go down on the other end and convert on offense. And that's something that we've been struggling at times. So just really putting all those pieces together. But I really was proud of our effort. Disappointed that we couldn't get the win, especially at home. It is something that we've really prided ourselves on the past 2 years, and really being able to, really call this a home court advantage and get the wins that we need to. And something we've struggled at this year, but we're growing. And so I'm proud of our growth in every way that we can. And I think of growing also, we can look and, Jillian Hayes made the AAC honor roll, a big accomplishment for a freshman and for her, and how she's stepping up really big for us.
You brought me to my next point that I wanted to make. Jillian Hayes, her growth just continues game after game, regardless of the stats that she's putting on the board. You can just feel her confidence growing, her taking leadership out on the floor. That's truly been one of the big highlights this year, seeing what she's been able to grow into.
Yes, it has been, and it's a lot of credit to her, as a player, and allowing myself and the coaching staff just to be able to make sure that we're in a situation and she just takes the coaching and whatever we need her to do. And so really proud of her growth, along with all the rest of our young ladies too. And like you said, be in situations that sometimes we only have 6 in practice, or, and things like that, it becomes very challenging. So the things that they're doing, I'm really proud of them, because they're continuing to keep working and doing whatever we need to do so we can get through the things that we need to.
We talked about your team's defensive effort, and one thing I wanted to add on that, you held Wichita State to just 10 points in that fourth quarter. And for a team that you have right now, only dressing 8 players for that game, I mean, the fourth quarter, you would think that might be the time when things get even tougher. So for them to lock down, with such a short bench in that time, that shows their dedication to continuing to battle, to their fitness. That's a tough challenge when you're only dressing 8 players in that fourth quarter.
Well, and I think it says a lot about our growth. I think it says a lot about our growth and our ability to understand how far we can push and how we can keep going. And also a credit to Kelly, our strength and conditioning coach, who has kept them and got them in shape. Then you get in basketball shape, but has kept them in a situation where we can continue to keep doing what we need to do.
And we look at this team and the games coming up on the schedule. We'll get to those in just a little bit. But again, just talking about that growth, and some other players have been able to step up as well. We've talked about, Sophia Grizzali putting in a lot more minutes at the guard position, what she's been able to bring you, particularly on defense. But just a lot of players really kind of finding their way here as of late.
Well, and I think, as you said, a big point. And that's what we talk about, just putting them in situations where they can be great at what they do. And Sophia plays really, really hard. We all love her. And, she brings that energy, that passion. And so she's growing too, and getting those moments where she can have a chance to be the best that she can be on the court and really help us. And then you just go down the list, and I just feel like that, everyone has those moments in their times where, they're giving what they need to give us. We just need to continue to keep growing as a unit. And we talked about this today. February is that month you're supposed to be playing your best basketball. So we just want to continue to keep doing that and putting ourselves in a position to get better and better.
We've seen that from your team in a number of positions up and down the roster. As we said, it's really been all hands on deck with, the last game being down to 8 players. We hope that can improve at some point here before the end. But now taking a look ahead at games coming up, as you said, we're hitting that point in the schedule now where, you're playing teams for the second time. It's these rematches. You already had one against Wichita State. And coming up next here on Wednesday, a game against Temple, a team that you were able to beat on the road. Obviously, they bring in a lot with Mia Davis, one of the best players in the conference, a lot of other talented players up and down that roster. But taking a look at that first game, what in particular stands out to you in what was able to give you that victory on the road, which is so tough to do?
I think the most important thing, it was our ability to get up and down the floor and transition. We got some really good transition baskets. And then we just really settled into how they were playing us. They started to zone us some. And I think we really figured it out. And, Jillian had a big game. Destiny stepped up, Dee stepped up and made some big shots in the game. And then we started just really making some big plays, and we made some big plays toward the end. Got some crucial stops, as you talk about defense. Aram got a big stop on the end, and we went down on our end and was able to convert. Destiny got a steal and a foul. And so it's just a lot of those little things, and that's what we talk about as a group. We have to continue to keep working on doing those things, the hustle plays, the rebounds, the pushing the ball, making the extra pass. And I think those were the things that we really did, and it was really awesome to see because the game went back and forth. And so when that happened, I really felt like that we really stuck together and did everything we needed to figure out a way to win.
Well, as we say a lot, the little things, when you add them all together, they really add up to a big number, and that's one thing that you were able to do to successfully get that win on the road. Taking a look at this Temple team, we've talked about them in the past, as mentioned. Mia Davis, really one of the top players in the conference. She's just somebody that brings just about every facet of the game that she does well. A co-player of the year with Imari Thomas, and for good reason.
Yeah, she does. She just plays so hard, and she rebounds, she can score, she can shoot the three. And when she gets the ball and she goes downhill, she's very hard to guard. So it is. It's gonna be. She always comes in, plays super hard. They have their freshman guard that's playing really well. They had like 4 threes on us. They do a great job, and they had 2. Really, they just played a really tough game against Tulane and at their place. And so they're playing better and better. Tanya does a great job of just getting them in the places that they need to be defensively and offensively. So, again, this is going to be a time, anytime you play someone second time around, you have to make sure that you make your adjustments. We're going to really have to stick to the good things that we did in the first game, but also I feel like I have to guard a little better when we're switching up our defenses.
It's always a tough, hard-fought battle when you go up against Temple, and we're expecting that again here on Wednesday, 6 p.m. The tip-off time. We'll have it on ESPN Plus as Cincinnati women's basketball takes on Temple. Moving on then after that game, Coach, you're back on the road this coming up weekend, taking on Tulane, a team that you already had a chance to play once. From one experienced player to another, Crystal Freeman, one of the top players in the conference for the Green Wave. She's always going to put in a good effort. Scored 18 points against you the first time around.
Yeah, she just does a great job. She's one of the ones, the same thing. She's very similar. As she's been really added a lot to her game, where she's shooting the threes from the outside. She just rebounds, just aggressive, can get to the basket. And so you're right. The thing about Tulane is Lisa does a great job. They're able to spread the floor. They got kids that can shoot it. Have an unbelievable freshman who can score, who can get downhill, who can shoot the three. So I think that's what makes them really dangerous. They have a lot of players that can do a lot of different things. They're very aggressive, and Lisa does a great job. They change up defenses. They'll press you, and then they also, change their defense in the half court. So you got to be ready. We really played them well here, and then kind of got away from us a little bit, but excited, and always just excited for the competition to compete against Tulane.
That game's coming up on Sunday at 2 p.m. It will also air on ESPN Plus as the Bearcats will have their second game of the week, taking on Tulane in New Orleans. And finally, Coach, with that being a road game, I think we've seen, each of the last 2 seasons and into this year, these road games have really provided a great opportunity to kind of spark some momentum. We've seen it the last 2 years. We saw it here at the beginning of conference play with those wins against Wichita State and Temple, but even this year more so with just how different things are, these road games, a big opportunity.
It really is. And that's what we just talked to the group about. And you're right. We're just excited. As you said, we've had, our past 2 weekend games have been canceled. So just to be, we didn't have a game. I'm sorry. The last weekend we had a bye. So then this weekend we were supposed to play. So we'll just be excited to have an opportunity to play a weekend game. And you, like you said, you're right. It's always a challenge when you go on the road, but we're excited about it. Excited to have the opportunity to be able to compete and play.
Looking forward to it as the Bearcats take on Tulane on Sunday at 2 p.m. Before that, they'll take on Temple at Fifth Third Arena Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Both of those games will air on ESPN+. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Big opportunity for your team this week. 2 big games. Chance to get back at it after the postponed game over the weekend, and we know you and your team are ready to go.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'll always thank you very much.
All right, that's head coach Michelle Clark-Hurst, Cincinnati, again, taking on Temple on Wednesday night, Tulane on Sunday afternoon. And for all that information and more, you can log on to GoBearcats.com. But for head coach Michelle Clark-Hurst, this is Matt Noonan saying so long. We'll see you next time.